Okay, so I would love to talk to you a little bit about Peter Hook. How did Eastwood get connected with him?
In Liverpool, where we have the office, I know Peter Hook's management company, and just randomly one day, they in the centre of Liverpool, there's a museum, a popular music museum in Liverpool. The managers had been picking up Peter Hook's original Share Gold bass 6 that had been on display. It was the Blue Monday bass 6 that he'd used for all the Ennio Morricone type parts and stuff. And they were collecting it and just dropped it off with me randomly in the office, and said to me, "This is like Peter's original Share Gold. If you'd like to have a look at it." I was like, "Yeah." I was like, "Can I keep it for a few days?" And weirdly, they said yes. And then just realised that it was an instrument that hadn't been available for like so long. Got speaking to Hooky not long after that, and it transpired that he was just trying to buy them because they were so scarce on the ground. He was worried about taking his ones out on tour, and if he saw an original one, he would buy it. But I think he had like 2 or 3 of them at the time. So we just got talking. I was like, well, why wouldn't we just? This is kind of a perfect Eastwood project. Why wouldn't we just, like, reissue one to the specs? And it was quite a strange situation that, given that we had access to his original one, we could take every measurement from it and make it exactly right, and reissue it, almost like a clone of his original one.
So was the Share Gold bass 6 the first Hooky instrument?
Yeah, that was the first one we did. Yeah, and then we did a couple of like variations on it. So there was I just wanted a 4-string version of it as well, just basically because I wanted a 4-string version of the 6-string. So we did that one, but then this one that we're looking at is the Hooky Viking. This was always earmarked to be the next one. So Peter had come up with this. It's based on he also plays a Yamaha, so he's only linked to 3 basses in his career, and it's the Yamaha 4-string that he plays, his Share Gold Masquerader bass 6, and then he got this other one that was made by a guy called Chris Eccleshall for him. So that was I think he'd done that in the 80s maybe, don't quote me on that, but Hooky, he wanted it specifically as a live instrument. So it was the neck profile, all the electronics of his Yamaha 4-string that he was playing, but he wanted it as a semi-acoustic bass for like more feedback for playing live.
Cool.
So we just commissioned, I think he had 3 or 4 of them made originally, and then so that was like, why wouldn't we kind of bring that to a wider market? Obviously he's quite influential as a bass player, and like people, it is, sometimes you can't just buy a Strat and sound like Hendrix and stuff, but there's a lot of the Joy Division, the New Order sound is from the bass, from what Hooky does, is kind of inherent in the sound of the bass 6.
Yeah, it's a very unique instrument, not just in Eastwood's lineup, but among, especially I think, bass 6s. Yeah. This one really doesn't sound like any other bass 6 to me. It's the bassiest feeling bass 6.
Yeah, the original Share Gold and the Hooky now, the bass 6, it's more of a kind of bass player's bass 6. It's got wider spacing, just a different sound as well. Like the pickup is different. It's more in the bass world than the guitar world.
Yes, the side jack bass 6 to me does the classic like boing bass 6 thing that you hear on country records, and this has like the meat of a bass guitar.
Yeah, I mean, it can be used as a bass. Yeah. I think a lot of like bass 6s, even though you can, but you know what I mean, that like the tightness of a bass is still in the Hooky.
Yeah, there's like a natural compression and sustain to this that the side jack doesn't have as much. You mentioned the electronics. Somebody who maybe isn't familiar with this model might think it has a lot of knobs. You want to tell me what's going on here?
If I pretend I'm a righty for a sec. It's really simple. So you have an active circuitry that gets introduced, and it's basically like it's bass, middle and treble, like your hi-fi, which is notched in the center position, so you can where it is, you can add or subtract bass, middle or high-end frequencies. So it's quite easy to sculpt it. If anyone wants a hooky tip and fact, he never uses it. he's told me this. He said he always just turns it off and just uses these two things. So there was a discussion when we were doing the R&D process on this of, do we just eliminate them and not have them there? But then we decided to keep it authentic.
Because those are from the original Viking.
Yeah, and the Yamaha. So it was informed from his 4-string Yamaha originally. Yeah, and I think his Yamaha custom model that he still has.
Oh, okay.
Has the same type of circuitry as well. Yeah. But really cool instrument.
So you've talked a lot about how Peter wanted these instruments because he wanted road versions of the instruments he loved. Is he playing Eastwoods out on the road right now?
Yeah, he has been, yeah. In fact, where are we now? October 24. Like as of now, he got a prototype of this Viking when we were doing the development process that he's just stuck with. I think he calls it Lola. He's got like a Lola sticker on it, so yeah, he's out with that at the moment, yeah, touring.
Cool.
Yeah.
Is there anything cool that you're cooking up in the Hooky kitchen that we can give people a hint about?
Yeah, there is, yeah, coming soon. Different finishes in the Viking Pro.
Oh, cool.
It never existed in Hooky's collection. But I think they're going to look really cool when they land. It's just a bit of a no-brainer.
Aubergine like Warren Ellis, I assume.
Yeah, always looking for the purple.
Cool. Well, thank you, Carl.
You're welcome.